Continuous learning is a crucial element in career growth, allowing professionals to stay competitive and adapt to industry changes. Updating your skills and knowledge are essential for maintaining relevance and achieving career advancement. To stay updated with industry trends, it's important to engage in self-directed learning by reading industry publications, watching educational videos, and participating in online forums. Online platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and LinkedIn Learning offer flexible courses that can be completed alongside your job, helping you acquire new skills at your own pace. Networking and mentorship also play a key role, providing insights and guidance from experienced professionals. Hands-on projects, whether in your job or as side ventures, reinforce learning and demonstrate your commitment to growth. By investing in continuous learning, you can enhance your job performance, open doors to career advancement, and experience personal growth. This proactive approach ensures you remain competitive and fulfilled in your professional journey. Bobby, I want to start with you. What does investing in yourself mean to you?
I've struggled all my life with a lost career, trying to do different things. I tried brand marketing, I tried engineering, I tried performing arts, teaching. And part of it is because I was trying to follow a path of success defined by other people. And the moment I decided to really understand who I was and where I came from, that was investing in myself, understanding my values, understanding, what worked, what didn't work. And that's really where things kind of changed, because then I found a path that made me understand my personal brand. And I followed a path that I've been doing now for the last 20 years, which is motivational speaking and coaching and things like that. So for me, learning to invest in yourself is really critical, because what I've learned, whether it's investing in your own personal development or your personal brand, or even just, becoming better at the things you're doing, my belief is that a better you is a better everything else. It affects your business, it affects your brand, it affects your relationships, it affects your family. So that's kind of, for me, why I invest in myself.
Interesting. I mean, as a math and theater guy, investing in yourself was central to you really evolving in your career.
Yeah, I think for the most part, what happened was we started to see the things that, for example, math was a path because I was good at it, but not necessarily what I want to do for a living. The theater thing became part of the brand because I like to perform and present on stage, and that made sense for me to become, a motivational speaker and doing TEDx talks. So, I saw but the math thing is part of my problem solving analytical ability. So we take all the different pieces of ourselves and find what works best for us in terms of not only what we're good at, but also what we love to do.
I love that. Claire, your work at Ladies Get Paid emphasizes the need for women to continue learning and advocating for themselves. What strategies do you recommend for women balancing continuous learning with their career demands?
I think the first step is raising the standards that you have for yourself and what you are worthy of. That you don't have to be dissatisfied with your life. Of course, you're not always going to be happy. You're not always going to be in a situation that's fantastic, but that you have a say in how you respond to it. I think the balance here is knowing that inside you are priceless, but there is a game to be played at work. We are in a system of capitalism. And so when you advocate for yourself, there is a dollar amount to it. And it's usually based off of how much you're contributing to the financial ecosystem of wherever you are. And so I find it's really this balance of kind of, yes, personal therapy, but also strategy, playing office politics. These things can go hand in hand. You don't need to sacrifice who you are to be great at work. But again, there is a difference between who you are, I think, at home, and the conversations you have with yourself and your diary, and how you show up at work. There's a nuance to it. And it can be very exhausting. So that's why I'm so glad we're talking about this, and that hopefully people watching and listening seek support, whether it's with a coach or a community, to go back and forth between how you feel about yourself and how you project yourself at work. There's a lot of shape-shifting that can come with that. So I love this topic. Thank you for having me again, by the way, Andy.
I love the idea that it is indeed a game that we're playing, and certainly having a coach or a community to help you kind of navigate your strategy and playing the game. Definitely something that's needed. Stella, maybe we can get some neuroscience from you. How do we flex our curiosity muscle and thrive in a skills economy?
So I think the key thing of thriving in a skills economy is actually to go beyond those LinkedIn learning courses, Udemy courses and things, which are great. I'm a LinkedIn learning author myself. There's some really good ones out there, but it's really starting to get curious enough to actually want to do something with that learning, to actually begin to practice. And Claire talked about, support, having a coach or support. So having somebody who can support you stimulates oxytocin, makes you feel better, actually makes you more creative, is really, really important. And, if you think about how you learn to do anything, ride a bike, play an instrument, act in the theatre, you can't do any of that by watching videos or doing courses. You have to do it. So you really have to put the practice in to build those neuronal networks and actually create that neuroplastic change that is what you're looking for when you're learning.
Can you define neuroplasticity for us?
Wow. Yeah. It's basically, our brains are made of multiple neurons, and they connect together. Neuroplasticity is the kind of finding that actually they can reconnect, they can create new pathways, new networks. And really, when you're learning, that's what you're doing. You're teaching your brain to build different paths, different networks, you're connecting things up differently, which enables you to actually behave differently, to think differently, and even to be different. So it's the fact that we used to think our brains were like hardwired and they were set, but they're not. They're much more plastic than we thought. Some things, some things are located, some behaviors are located in particular places, some functions are located in particular places, but even that can shift if you work at it enough.
Thank you. William, personal branding, I imagine, is always evolving. How do you incorporate continuous learning to stay relevant in the branding industry?
Yeah, well, I will say for people who are building their brands, they think that they've gone through the first step in the process, which is uncovering your brand, and they can tick the box and move on. And I think one of the things that we all know is that change is the only constant. And therefore, what you learned about yourself 2 years ago is not necessarily relevant today. And even your life purpose and your goals are going to change. So I think as you're thinking about how do I become a lifelong learner and what should I learn, you really need to get clear about your brand again. You need to go back and say, what is really important to me? And then once I know that, what are the programs that I can participate in that can help me get the skills that I need to be successful there? I think right now, for example, everyone in the world is doing an AI course. And I don't know that they need to do that. I mean, we all need to learn about AI. Everyone's job is going to be affected by it. And there may be something that they could learn that would be more valuable to them, more differentiating from a personal branding perspective. And so being really thoughtful about what you're learning and to think to just kind of further say what Stella was saying is there are different ways to learn, and everyone has their different techniques. And I would say that online learning without interaction with others and without the opportunity to apply what you learn is mostly wasted. And there's some data that back that up.
Loads of data to back that up, William. Just a quick interruption there, because you need to do the doing.
Yeah, it's all about doing. Anyone else want to chime in on this investing on yourself topic?
Just that it's going to be hard, right? It's going to be painful. It means there's a learning curve. If you're investing in yourself, that means there's a desire for more, which also is a reminder that you don't yet have it. So understanding and accepting and embracing that there's going to be a roller coaster, maybe of emotions as you go through the learning and the doing. You won't be very good at it for a while. And that's kind of the point. So I really encourage anybody who is beginning the investing and the doing, that it's a process.
I think a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people don't want to do the work, right? Because they want to quickly get to what they're doing. So, from a personal branding standpoint, people are focusing on designing the right brand and getting the assets and marketing and website, everything together, but they don't want to do the deep dive into discovering their personal brand. And what happens is if they just design without discovering, then they deploy the brand and it's not as good as they thought it could be, or they don't have the result they want in 6, 12, or 18 months. And so again, I tell people, do the deep dive. But everyone I know wants to skip the steps. But if you invest, it's going to have much, much better outcomes.
And I think it's really important to think about that in terms of learning too, what Claire said. It's hard work. You need to work at it. You need to work at it for a long time. You need that support to work at it. And don't just imagine that by, doing a short course, you will have those new skills. You're going to have to practice, fail, get it wrong, get some really good support, get some really good feedback so that you actually do the hard work. That neuroplasticity is hard work. Our brains use an enormous amount of energy, and rewiring them uses even more. So really think about the work you need to put in.
And the last thing I would add is that you actually can make it fun. When it comes, I have an article that's going to come up out in my Forbes column this week, and it's about the 3 things you need to master for learning. And one really has to do with picking things that are fun. When you're having fun, you learn more, and you're more apt to stick with whatever program you're pursuing if you're having fun, rather than if it's just painful and awful and evil. There's this mindset that we all have to have shifted a little bit, and that is that work is work and fun is fun. If work is fun, we're more productive, we're more engaged, we're actually more attractive to those around us, and there's a ripple effect to that. So I think that if you pick the programs that feel fun for you, you're going to have the maximum learning, and you're going to be able to apply that.
Yeah, and the environment in which you do it and who's teaching it, right? So let's say you start to take a course, or you have a certain coach and, it's not feeling great, and instinctually, that doesn't mean the problem is with you. The problem could just be, let's, switch coaches. Let's, for me, writing my book in front of my computer, oh my gosh, I couldn't write anything. Turns out I have to lie down and write on my phone. I have to trick my body into thinking we're relaxing, which goes off of the point of like fun. So I think this whole thing is about experimentation, trying again. And to all my women out there who tell me I hate being bad at things, right? Because we're perfectionists. Let's embrace the fact that we're going to be bad at this. And that's the point. It means we're getting better.
Yeah.
I like it. So I got to fool myself, and I have to try to make it as fun as possible to get through the difficult and hard work. Let's go to segment 2.
But learning itself can be
go ahead.
enjoyable. The joy of actually learning something, the kind of satisfaction you get from having learned something, or at least making progress. Track your progress, not just the failures. Track the progress, because that in itself is satisfying.
That is reinforcing. Thank you, Stella. We're going to go to segment 2 and talk about building resilience and self-confidence.